Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to EJ's Auction and Consignment's Bidder Corner. This morning we have a special guest, Neil Redmond, consignment specialist slash appraiser slash picker slash guy, the go-to guy. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to be here.
What we're going to do today is we're going to go over some of Neil Redmond's qualifications, what he does here at EJ's Auction and Consignment, his background. It's actually kind of funny. When I first got into the auction business years ago, I worked for Neil when he owned his own company. I was a terrible auctioneer in the beginning, and I appreciate you putting me to work to give me some experience. But today, I think our main focus that I want to talk to you about is storage auction buying.
Okay.
Give us some hints. When the door opens at an auction for a storage unit, how do you know it's something that you want to bid on, that you think is valuable?
Well, that happens very quickly. The door opens, you've got a very short space of time to decide, do I want this or not? Can I get rid of it? Is it worth buying? Is it worth moving the things I don't want to get what I do want? So you really need a bit of a knowledge as to how much you can sell what's in there. You've got to determine, is it worth moving? How long is it going to take me to move it? How much do I need to spend on it? And you've got a very short period of time to figure that out. So if I want it, I'm in. If I don't, I'll step away.
If you open a door to a storage unit and you look and you go, oh my God, it's packed full of you see U-Haul boxes, floor to ceiling, does that mean that's something that you're going to buy? But you see no furniture, just boxes.
I would be interested if I saw U-Haul boxes or any kind of storage boxes from the facility that they've purchased for that. Doesn't mean there's something good inside them. You've got to be careful. If there's no furniture that I can see, it's a gamble. I like to see, if I'm spending $1,000, I like to see $1,000 and some boxes. So no, if it's cheap, yes. If it's expensive, I would not be interested.
What's a cheap unit cost if you're buying storage units?
Anywhere from $5 to $10,000. It's very difficult to say. When I first began, they were very cheap, few people there. A cheap unit would be $5 for a big unit. Now it's all different.
Oh boy,
it's changed.
Yeah, that's actually kind of scary when you talk about spending $10,000 on a storage unit. Have you seen that before?
I've seen them sell from, I think the most expensive one I've seen has been $17,000 for one unit. That was in Las Vegas. It was a series of 5, and that was the most expensive one out of the 5. It was a full family's home. The cheapest one of the 5, I think, was around 7. So I've seen them sell for some good amounts.
Wow.
The last one I bought that was the most expensive last one I bought was $4,500.
Wow. And you made $4,600.
No, actually it turned into around about $15,000.
Wow.
So
that's a good investment.
Yeah.
But something I do hear quite a bit when it comes to buying storage units is, oh, that must be easy. You just go there and you buy the unit and then you just sell it.
Not necessarily. You have to have some knowledge of how to get rid of what you buy. Obviously, you don't just buy it and it all ends right there. You buy it, that's the fun part. The hard part is moving it, selling it, finding where to take it. Which place do you go to sell it? Do you sell on eBay, Craigslist, auction? The most easy way, obviously, is to let an auction company handle it. That way, their knowledge comes into play. You move it faster. You get out to buy another one a lot quicker. So you turn it over faster. You've got more opportunity to get something good, because the more you buy, the more chance you have.
Right. Well, America, for the most part, is known as a hoarder nation. I think there's 50,000 plus storage facilities across the United States with over 2 billion square foot of storage space, which my question to that, is it worth somebody to pay for storage for grandma's stuff that passed away and they just wanted to hang on to it, so they stuck it in a storage unit?
Not necessarily. You're investing money into something that is already losing money. So you have to decide, if you inherit a storage container, you need to decide what you need to do with it very quickly, because unless you know what's in it, the money you're investing is into something that is losing value very quickly. At some point, your investment is going to surpass what's inside it, and that's when it comes to you've spent $2,000 keeping it and it's only worth $1,000. You need to move it very quickly.
Okay, what do you see the most in a storage unit? When you're out all the storage auctions that you've been to, what's the most prevalent items that are in a storage unit? What do you see the most of?
Everybody has a mattress. Everybody has a big TV with the big tubes, and usually a couch, and mainly household items, boxes. But you can see people that have had businesses, tools, all kinds of things. But really, if you could think of it, it's in there.
Right. You know, you've probably seen just about everything. I once bought a storage auction unit over in Cave Creek of a famous football player. What a great investment that was. I think I spent $500 on that unit and did well over $20,000, and that's before I even got into the auction business. I look back now and I think, oh my gosh, if I'd have known what to do, the right thing to do with those items, it probably would have been a $40,000 payoff for me.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I also bought a footballer player's storage container, came from Las Vegas. It was actually an Arizona player, so it's kind of ironic that it came from there and I brought it back here. It's kind of funny, but again, it does happen. Sometimes if you put a bank card on file with the facility and you move and your card expires, which was the case, and you don't know, it goes away. So you have to be very careful. If you've got something in a storage unit, keep an eye on your payments, make sure that you know what's going on.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. You don't pay your bill. If you're 10 days late, it gets locked, and then I think it's another 30 days.
Yeah, and they won't let you in if you think you've got something in there that you can say, well, if I can get in, I can get this, I can pay you. It doesn't work like that. You're locked out, it's the end, you're done. And most people, they won't give it back to you.
All right. What's the most common mistake people make when they buy a storage unit? For a first-timer or even somebody that's a little bit seasoned?
A first-timer is... What I would suggest to a first-timer, if somebody's planning on going out and buying one of these, I would suggest if you wouldn't take $500 or $1,000 to a casino and lose it all, then don't go and buy one. It's a gamble. It really is.
You mean it's not like I see on TV where every time somebody spends $500 on a storage unit, they're making $10,000, $15,000?
No. I mean, it does happen. It will happen at some point if you do it for long enough. But don't assume that people are not going to store junk. They do, quite often. There is cases where you will lose money. Sometimes the best case scenario is if you buy a bad one, is the best you can hope for is you waste all your time. You get some of your money back and just waste your time. But don't just assume that because there's boxes in there, it's going to be full of good things and it's going to be full of gold coins and you're going to find a car in the back that's worth $20,000. It just doesn't happen all the time.
Well, speaking of what's the most prevalent item in a storage auction that holds that does have value that you see the most of, that you don't see when the door opens?
Usually that would be the smaller things that are hidden in boxes that people don't realize are valuable. You can find small antique pieces, some pieces of pottery that are becoming popular right now. Mid-century items are becoming popular right now. Those are the pieces you won't see. Those are the pieces you'll find in a box. The jewelry obviously always is worth money because it's either silver or gold. That's always going to have a value. Gold coins, you will find them now and again. It's sometimes people will put them in, they'll take those things out. Obviously they're out there. You don't really see those things until you've bought it, but you'll see some of the money up front, but so does everybody else.
Do people normally store their jewelry and coins in a storage locker?
Sometimes if they've moved out quickly or they've moved to full estate and they just dump their drawers into a box and think they'll sort it out at a later date, it does happen. Not all the time. Usually if people are getting into a storage situation, are they moving? Is it being stored by family members and they just want to get everything out and they don't realize where everything is. They forgot where they put their jewelry. It was in a different box and they just box everything up and move out. So it does happen.
You know, the funny thing is right now, it just clicked to me that if I'm buying a storage unit with the knowledge that I had 10 years ago, which was really none, and I started buying storage units, a lot of what we sell, what's really gaining steam here now is the mid-century modern furniture. 10 years ago, if that door would have opened and I would have looked and saw a bunch of, lucite and old 50s and 60s dining tables and stuff, I would have not paid a penny for it. With the way the economy is gone, and that's all very desirable stuff now, I think.
Absolutely. Again, the people with knowledge and experience will always have an upper hand on the people that when that door opens and you see one piece, you know that's worth $5,000. Automatically, you're going to win that container because you already know that there's a huge amount of money in one piece. That said, everything else is then going to be free for you because you know what you're looking at. And a lot of pieces that don't have names on them, they're not easily recognized by most people. Obviously, with an auction background in the industry for long enough, you're going to see that piece when that door opens. At that point, you're going to win.
Yeah, I would have loved to be able to have opened up a storage unit and found that we sold that antique Tiger Oak display cabinet here a couple weeks ago for $7,000. Whereas not too long ago it was $10,000 to $15,000 all day long. But I would love to open up a door to a unit like that now because most people will go, oh my gosh, that thing's huge, I don't want to move it.
Absolutely.
But it's worth a lot of money.
Yep, and that does happen when you see that kind of piece. You know what the value is. A lot of people that try and sell things themselves come into the problem of, it's on Craigslist for $100 and somebody came and offered me $50 and they're desperate to move it. They'll take that money just to get rid of it, so that because they're panicking that I need to get all my money back, and that's a situation that a lot of people get into there. But again, you do see that expensive piece and you know what it is, then you've always got the advantage.
What do you see as the hottest commodity, I guess you could say, right now in the auction business?
Right now, artwork is very good. It's moving forward. Younger people are seeing it. They're investing in it. They're starting to buy it. Like you said, mid-century pieces, they're starting to take off. They're getting really big. Various small things. I see a lot of pinball machines here. Younger people are the ones with the money spending right now. That kind of thing's going to take off pretty soon, I think, and already is.
I think you hit the nail right on the head when it comes to pinball machines. I've seen a real rise. In fact, we have a pinball machine today that we're selling that has even at auction, that it may hit the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 range because it is a desirable piece. And the gentleman that consigned it with us had no idea. He probably would have let it go out the door for $600, $700.
Yeah, you go to Las Vegas, they have a pinball hall of fame. It's always full. I've been in there. It's really neat. They've got the old machines that you grew up looking at and playing. Now you can go do it again, and they're coming available to auction. People are buying them. You're going to see an increase in price in those type of items.
Yeah.
If people have the room, and I'm sure if they don't, they'll make room.
Well, as far as storage auction, storage containers and storing your valuables away, if you think you don't have time to get in there and move those items out and get rid of them, don't fall into that trap, because you could be literally throwing hundreds of dollars a month away on storing stuff when you can contact a company like EJ's Auction and Consignment, which we can go in and move that all out of there. We have our own transportation team. We will treat those items as our own. We have a lot of respect for the consigners that contract us to liquidate their estates. We're very seamless, fast, full service. We take care of everything from packing it up to selling it to collecting the money and then sending you a check. So better off to leave that work probably to the professionals than try to do it yourself, unless you have a full moving company at your disposal like we do. So remember, folks, EJ's Auction and Consignment every Saturday. Doors open at 9, auction starts at 10. We run 3 live auctions at 10, 10:30, and 11 a.m. EJ's Auction and Consignment, and we'll see you next time at EJ's Bidder's Corner. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.